welcome to the stage your hosts for the evening. The first female play-by-play radio broadcaster in NFL history, Kate Scott, and 49ers color analyst, Tim Ryan.
All right. Good evening, faithful. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good to see you all.
Yeah, I love all the red and gold and white out in the audience. See, that's good. I'm going to need to hear a little bit more of you because the thing about being up on stage, when you have all these bright lights, you can't really see too much. So can I hear who's out here? Okay, that's what I thought. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2017 State of the Franchise event here at the Santa Clara Convention Center. Tim Ryan, Kate Scott with you. We have an amazing night ahead, and we want to say thank you to everyone who's tuning in right now on Facebook Live and on Periscope. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Thanks for watching down in Fresno. It's going to be a good night, Tim.
It's going to be a great night, and I'd like to thank everybody for being here. And I think the best thing about tonight for everybody is what you're going to get out of some of the new leadership here with the San Francisco 49ers. And I know y'all are ready to watch football and ready for football, but at least tonight we're going to talk real football. And you're going to get an authentic opportunity to listen to real people that have achieved things at the highest level and have done it with great humility. And that'll come across tonight. And it's going to be an opportunity for you guys to get to know where this organization is headed. And I know the last 3 years have not been what everybody anticipated and or expected or hoped for. I got a great feeling these guys are here to change it. You're going to love them.
Yeah, and one of the cool parts of tonight is that we asked you, the fan, to submit questions before tonight's event. So we're incorporating a lot of the questions that you've asked all night long. We're going to be asking the front office your questions and the coaches and the players. And we're doing it in 4 quarters because we're football fans. We all can understand that, right? So 4 segments to tonight's show. We're going to be talking about the fan experience and game day. We're going to be talking about what it was like to be in that war room on a hell of a draft night for our 49ers. We're going to hear from Coach Shanahan and some of his coordinators, and we're going to hear from the players, free agents, some of the rookies that we just picked up very recently, and of course, a couple of your favorite veterans joining us tonight. So Tim, are you ready to light this show on fire?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
we're going to be playing some rookies in the 4th quarter this year and also here tonight in the 4th segment, but I think you're going to enjoy the veterans that we finished with. Most important part of the game, last 2 minutes. These guys play their best. You're going to dig it.
Yeah, we thought it'd be best to bring the vets out last. So without any further ado, let's get this State of the Franchise started. Our first 3 guests tonight, Jed York, John Lynch, and Guido.
Where you sitting, Timmy? I'm closest to you. Okay.
All right. Your 49ers front office, everybody.
How about the Levi's? Everybody notice this?
I didn't get the memo. Thanks,
You
guys.
wouldn't wear them.
Thanks, guys. I mean, if they looked good back here, I would. You know what I'm saying? All right, anyway. Let's get to things, shall we?
Yeah, and I think what we want to start with is a little Q&A, and Jed, we'll start with you.
Let's do it.
Boy, what a difference 4 months makes, right? I mean, you think back, and last few years have not been what you expected, not been what the organization and the faithful had hoped for, but you made the decision earlier this offseason to make some tough decisions. And I give you a lot of credit for that. I really do. And I know what went into them. So can you talk a little bit about those decisions and really the road to landing John Lynch as your GM and Kyle Shanahan as your head coach?
Well, I mean, I think, first and foremost, we haven't been where we wanted to be. Like, we expect to be competing for championships year in and year out. And it's never easy to make changes. You don't like to be an organization that has change. And I think a big piece of that was, you had guys that they weren't necessarily part of the 49ers fabric to begin with. And, when you kind of start with interviewing with the coaches and some of the general manager candidates, and I thought we interviewed a lot of great people, but I think it was really clear when we sat down with Kyle, he knows the 49ers. Some of his formative years, kind of junior high, the beginning of high school, like they were here. you know, in 92, 93, 94, you know, you watch your dad as an offensive coordinator win a Super Bowl, and then he leaves and he goes to Denver. But that meant something to Kyle, and you feel it, you know. And then as we're talking through GM candidates, you know, obviously you kind of know the story of John and Kyle and their relationship. And, you know, we had to kind of bring John in under the skies, under the guise of night.
And you did that well too.
We did.
That was very impressive.
And there were no
right?
leaks.
Yeah.
We hit him in our guest house. but I mean, and then you start talking to John, a guy that essentially played from college on, all Bill Walsh disciples and Bill Walsh for a season. Mm-hmm. And you have guys that understand what the 49ers mean, like what the fabric's all about. And it's not that they grew up in the 49ers organization, but they grew up understanding it and knowing it. So when we have conversations and we talk about vision, you know, I don't feel like I have to change what my perception is of the 49ers. And I think they know what I'm thinking and what I want to have done and what we want to accomplish. And it just makes it so easy to come together to get to where we want to be.
Well, one of the things, Jed, that I've heard you mention, in addition to improving, obviously, the staff, is that he's wanting to improve the experience for you, the fan. We've heard that a lot, right? Exactly. We can clap. Yeah, this is a 49ers event. Feel free to get into it. So let's talk about fan experience a little bit. How do you plan on improving the fan experience?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, fan experience, it's amazing. And we appreciate people filling out, you know, all the questionnaires and forms and things like that we send out. It certainly helps us shape a better experience for you. But it's amazing how when we win, like, there's less traffic, there's less, you know.
Crazy, isn't it?
But that's where it starts.
Yeah.
It starts with making sure that you have a team that is a team that you feel good about watching. And obviously we're young, you know, we're not counting wins yet. We're coming off a 2-win season and drafting second overall. I mean, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order for us to get where we want. But that's first and foremost, making sure that the team is in the right place. But I think what you're seeing, especially from John and Kyle, you know, it's communicating with the fans. Obviously, we feel it in the building. There's great communication, but we need much better communication externally. And you start with an event like this. You know, you start with just the little things that John does on the radio or on TV, and Kyle being open to it. And then you go to a lot of things that Al and his team have put together, whether it's 49ers.com, through social media. We want to try to bring you behind the scenes as much as we can. Obviously, we don't want to give away competitive advantages and things like that, but we want you to be able to see, you know, the personalities. And, you know, you look at Joe Staley, a guy that'll be up here. The Joe shows were always one of my favorite things to watch. You know, then you start seeing, and I mean, I'll watch it literally, like I'll watch it once a week. You know, the piece with Reuben Foster and Solomon Thomas. You know, I mean, it's just like, I mean, watching those guys, and it's natural, but you get to see it and you feel it, and you feel their enthusiasm, their love for the game. And, you know, we don't want you to just see that on Sunday. We want you to see who these guys are, because that's what we talk about. We want this to be more than just winning on Sundays. You talk about winning with class and doing it the right way. You want to see who people are behind the scenes. And I think the other thing is Levi Stadium. You know, it's a new building. You know, we're still trying to break it in and get it to where we want it to be. You know, Al and his team have done an amazing job doing that. But listening to the fans and trying to make it more of that great feel all throughout the building, and I think you'll hear more of that from Al. I don't want to steal his thunder. but that's a big piece, is making sure that we hear your feedback and we do the things in the stadium to make it feel more like a 49ers home game for you, and make sure that our fans and our team knows that when you're at Levi Stadium, it gives us an advantage to win.
One thing I think, and being in the business for a long time, is I don't think a lot of teams give the fans enough credit in terms of what they know and how empowered fans are now about the game. I mean, when you look at the web and you look at all the sites on the internet, there's good football content out there, and there's good people writing that are pretty on point with some of the things that are happening on the field. And then, just hypothetically, someone will ask a coach that question, how's the quarterback playing? He's playing great. Well, everybody in this room knows he's not playing great. So that's why I think communication and transparency with the fans helps build trust. Because as soon as they hear that, you guys are like, this guy doesn't know what he's even looking at.
I mean, that's big, but you know, I remember, I mean, when John talked about Peter King being in the war room, you know, and it's like, well, you know, what do you think of it? And it's one of those things, and it's like, well, you know, I'm used to coaches and front office people not wanting to have an open look of what we're doing. And, you know, I mean, to me, that first night especially, I mean, it was one of the most exciting nights that I've been a part of at the 49ers. And, you know, to have somebody like Peter in the draft room with us, documenting it and sharing it with people, where it's not just, you know, a story that you might tell. You have somebody that is truly, you know, a very well-respected member of the media that can tell it through their eyes and really get people inside of what does it mean to be in that position. I mean, I thought it was a very, very well-done story, but it's one of those things where we want to share with our fans, you know, this is the hard work we put into it, and we expect a great result, but this shows you a little bit how the sausage is made behind the scenes, and that's what we want to share with people.
Yeah, and that was awesome. If y'all haven't read that article, I'm sure all of you, right? The faithful here, all of you nodding online saying, yeah, we read the Monday Morning Quarterback, Peter King. It's a great article. Okay, we've heard a little bit from Jed. Al's sitting over there smiling a little bit too much, so I'm putting you on the hot seat now, Al Guido.
Sure.
And I think there's a number you want to start us off with?
Yeah, well, we took a lot of fan questions in, so I'm going to be the first one to ask the fans a question. Anybody have any idea what this number represents?
90. Huh.
What's that? Shade. we can touch on that.
Looks like we have a write-in question.
So this is a thank you. This is our season ticket renewal rate over the last 3 years.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
thank you to you guys. Look, that number is not shown to pat ourselves on the back or to tell you guys, you know, we're not resting on our laurels. We did a presentation internally the other day where I was able to talk to the executive team and some of our sponsors. And what I said is, our faithful remain faithful, and we remain committed. And I'll tell you, it hits us every day where we know what's happened in the last 3 years since we opened up Levi Stadium on the field. Those numbers are staggering in the NFL. You are the best fans, and so I just wanted to start that off with thank you very much.
And let's then continue, because Jed had touched on it, that as an organization, the 49ers, and I've been intrigued by this, have been soliciting the opinion of the fan. But I'm sure a lot of us think, oh, that's great. I'm sure they just see our emails and it's delete, delete, delete. Mm-hmm. Here's your survey. Thanks so much. We'll see you next Sunday. But I know for a fact that that's not the case, Al. I've been with you when you've been looking over things saying, oh, gosh, another person complaining about that. Okay, how are we going to fix this? So why have you wanted to do that? And how have you gone about dealing with all the advice?
Well, thank you, Kate. So we really wanted to survey our fans. I mean, Jed mentioned it. When we moved into the new building, we were moving into a 2 million square foot home for the first time. So I'll ask any of you, if you ever moved into your house, right, and you looked for the fork and knife the next day, you probably couldn't find it. Try thinking around out 4,000 employees on game day. So we've taken in over 150,000 surveys. We've taken over 100,000 phone calls. We've had text messages, right? We've done our social media streams. And the one piece of feedback I got, and we did some focus group respondents this year, where we're filling this out. Do you hear us? Where's the responses? Where are the changes? And what we need to do a better job is articulating those changes throughout the year. And if you could put that slide back up, I would say the 6 areas in which we focus in, right, which game presentation, stadium operations, technology, I will tell you over the course of those 2 seasons, we've made, if you can see in 2015 on the bottom, we've made 35 enhancements. We made 35 out of the 41 all of you recommended. In 2016, we made 61 enhancements. Now, they could be ranging from, you know, parking and transportation, where we spent over $10 million to upgrade some of that infrastructure, all the way down to ticketing. And so we hear your feedback across the board. I think tonight we're here to focus a little bit on some of the food and beverage.
Yeah, that's what Tim and I want.
And the game day entertainment. Yeah.
If you could, that was my favorite part. So, oh, look.
Yeah.
What do we have here?
But Kate, you never had the privilege of taking the elevator up a Candlestick and doing a game there. That was a privilege.
I wished and hoped, but just as a fan.
What was important to us here is we got a lot of comment back on local flair, and I think all of us who are Bay Area fans know how great, you know, the ballpark is in San Francisco, and we have the same food and beverage concessionaire. And what people don't know sometimes when you walk around the building is We actually have over 160 menu items. We have the largest menu offering in all of sports. Most of it is local fare, but we kept getting some feedback around, let's bring some more to the table. And I would say the third one down in there, the one that we heard a lot is, what can we do to enhance the tailgate atmosphere within Faithful Mile or within our parking lot? So we're going to bring off the grid down. We're going to bring all the food trucks. I think it's going to be a really good add to outside the building.
And then on game day, I know we're doing some cool things on home dates. We're doing some themes this year that we're really excited about.
We are. We're really excited about these. I mean, I think some of it is, adding value to the season ticket holder benefits. And Jed talked a little bit about tonight, and that's access to the team. You want to hear from us. You want to see our players. You want to get up close and personal, not just on game day, but 365. The important piece on game day, we've never really showed this to anybody, but we outline all the themes throughout the course of the year. Some of them are NFL driven, obviously some of them are ours. We're also going to add season ticket holder giveaways to all 8 regular season games for every single person in attendance. Thank you. The one I really want to turn your attention to, because it's near and dear to our hearts, we're going to honor number 87 on 10/22. We obviously want everyone to come out. We think it's fitting. It's against our hated rivals in the Dallas Cowboys. It just so happened to be the time where Dwight made the catch. So we're proud of this.
Yeah. It's going to be a great night. Mark it down, 10/22. All right, just a couple more for our first fan question. That's not a write-in question. We'll get to the write-in a little bit later in the show. All right, this one comes to us from Cameron from Palo Alto, and he says, well, I really enjoy attending games at Levi's. I feel like there's a butt coming in this one. Does it feel like there's a butt coming? There's a big butt walking towards the stage right now. Oh, they avoided the butt. The stadium has yet to define its personal character. I hear from countless other fans, it feels like something's missing in regards to making this the home of the 49ers. So how are you addressing that? And Cameron suggests bringing back the Ring of Honor.
Thank you from Cameron from Palo Alto.
Good question.
Great question. I would say this was our #1 piece of feedback outside of obviously team performance, and we really thought, and I think everybody who's been to the museum would think we did a great job, but the piece of feedback we got was, how do we bring that visual inside the stadium? So what we've done is we've partnered with a group. You'll see the images as they run behind me here today. We are going to be adding images inside the building and outside the building that speak to our history. You'll see we're going to be adding the Super Bowl championship trophies. The Ring of Honors, the division titles, the conference championships, the flags. You'll notice here as it scrolls through, we're going to be adding in the real live Super Bowl posters throughout the piece. We want that concourse to be a museum of all the great history of the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, I was going to start with the 15 wins in 3 years, but I didn't want to go there. Make the stadium look better.
That's why they had me start.
It's got to be an event, though. I think you're right on it, absolutely. All right, our next fan question, Al, for you is Edward, a 24-year season ticket member from Hayward, asks, is there any chance of Levi's Stadium hosting another Super Bowl? And if so, when would that take place?
There's definitely a chance. There's no question. Thanks, Edward. We feel really great about Super Bowl 50. Thank you for all for supporting. I think the Bay Area, give yourself. The Bay Area did a fantastic job. I mean, regionally, whether it's San Francisco, San Jose, or right here in Santa Clara at our home. The next bid is going to come up in October. At least we're going to put in our interest for Super Bowls 57 and 58. Obviously, there's a lot of things happening in and around the stadium, which we're not going to touch on tonight, but a lot of development will enhance Levi Stadium on game day. And the analogy I always use is if you go to the ballpark and you think about China Basin, how that's changed over the course of time since they opened it. There's development on the golf course north of us, which is going to be mixed use, a lot of retail and restaurants, which I think will enhance it for all of us. And what we really want to do is line up those events with our next Super Bowl bid to put on the best showcase for the Bay Area.
I don't know if Roger Goodell has anything to do with it, but I played golf the day after the Super Bowl here with Roger. And it exceeded every one of his expectations. I mean,
Question is, did you beat him? Did you lose?
Well, we're on the same team. We beat the group in front of us.
Good.
Let's put it that way. But he was elated with how everything went down.
But even with the national championship game coming up too, I mean,
And
that's
that's
awesome.
You know, we want to keep adding. We know obviously the most important thing is the San Francisco 49ers, right? And we never want to lose track of that. You know, the centerpiece around where everybody comes to Levi's is because you all wear red and gold, and we're there for the hopefully more than 10 Sundays. But you know, we know you bought in, and your SBLs attract or help us attract marquee events, and whether it's the Pac-12 championship, which obviously is close.
Yeah.
To
Go Pac-12.
Come
on,
soccer,
nobody?
concerts. But Jed mentioned a big one, and we're going to start rolling that out as our hospitality package. We were able to carve out some inventory more than what we had on the Super Bowl for the 2019 college football national title game right here in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
All right, Al, we got a final fan question of this segment for you. And John, a 4-year season ticket member from San Jose, asks, in regards to game day experience, what are the procedures for having more active, reserve, and retired military members to be involved before and during a game, such as participating in the current Honor of Veteran segment or being an honorary coin flipper?
John, it's a great question, and for those here today and for those tuning in on the social channels, I just want to thank all of those who are in our military and in our police.
Absolutely.
Tim, what we're really excited about this year, we got 2 games that fall into sort of celebrations around the military, and also celebrations we're going to do the first time this year, our first responder celebration. Obviously, we're going to have people, whether it's opening up the doors to the locker room or being out in the fan tunnel. What I would ask you is, call into your member services team. Obviously, Jamie Brandt, Dustin Albertson, Kathy, and all those do a great job taking in all those requests. We want to have as many people as we possibly can engaged in those ceremonies.
Agreed.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, we need to hear from you, Big
Yeah.
John. We need to hear from John Lynch.
I don't know, Tim. They're standing up. They're standing up. We're standing up. We're standing up. I don't think they like the hire.
Well, I'm going to give him some advice and buckle your chin strap tight and put your neck roll on, because it's going to be one of those types.
Yeah.
With John and John, it's great to have you, man.
Yeah.
And we were colleagues for a long time, and the career that you've had and what you left to come here to be part of this is awesome. So congratulations, and I know everyone's going to love you, and this is the guy, man. So I think we give him one more.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim. And I think it's appropriate that I start by thanking the faithful, because I didn't play here in my career. I wished I did. I really do. Haven't gone to school right up north. And the 49er family is Jed and the 49er way, as I learned it, and got to play for Bill Walsh, got to play for Denny Green, got to play for John Gruden and Mike Shanahan. All those guys started or spent time with the 49ers. We saw that as the standard in the league, and so I always hoped that at some point in my career I could. I came back a lot of years later, and the welcome, I haven't left that facility much, but when I have, the welcome's just been awesome. And so I thank you, and I know Kyle Shanahan feels the same way, our staffs do, for the way you've welcomed us and make us feel at home. So thank you for that, first of all. Yeah.
Well said. All right, let's hit you with a question here. Both Jed and Al brought up the topic of communicating better with the fans, and it's obvious and being around you guys that both you and Kyle have bought into that. Why do you see value in improved communications with the fans?
Yeah, first of all, Tim, I just think it's kind of who I am. And, I think that's what, in so many ways, brought Kyle and I together, is that we're aligned in the way we think. And we really feel like there's not a whole lot to hide. I think the fact that, we've called it strategic transparency. We want to be really transparent and open with our fans, but we want to be strategic about it. You think about draft day and the way that went. A lot of that was set up because of a trade we made at the beginning of that draft. We moved back one spot and got a whole lot for doing so. That would have never happened had everyone known our intentions. And so I was proud of our building because things didn't get out and it left everybody in the league guessing. What are they doing? We don't know. So I think I was real proud of the fact that we've been able to be transparent and honest, but yet there's a time and place for keeping things in-house. And so I think we've got a great understanding of that. I think your experiences make who you are. I happened to play in some of my formative years in the league for a man named Tony Dungy, and Coach Dungy was raised by Chuck Noll, and they very much felt that like secrets are overrated. It's about executing. It's about drafting great players, and it's about not so much secrets and tricking people. It's about just being better and executing. So Kyle feels that same way, and that's what's led to the communication. I think these fans deserve it. They support us each week, so they deserve to know kind of what's going on behind the scenes, and we'll do that to the extent we can and when we can, and hopefully earn your trust that when we don't, you'll know why.
I think we deserve to hear a little bit more from John Lynch, don't you think? Yeah, okay. Well, I think we're going to let these two go. So round of applause for Al Guido and Jed York.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, that is going to conclude quarter one, but oh, John, we're just getting started with you. Sit back down, young man. Before we move on, though, to quarter two, let's take a look back at the night of the draft, because it was a good one, right? We have an exclusive insider video from our 49ers studios, and we're calling it The Call from the War Room. Take a look.
Solomon, classmate, it's John Lynch. How you doing, buddy? You want to be a 49er? Right on, buddy. We're happy to have you. We're thrilled, and you just have to move 15 minutes down the road, so you're good, buddy. All right, man. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. We're thrilled, we're ecstatic, and couldn't be happier, man. So good to hear the excitement in your voice.
Solomon, congrats, man. I'm doing good, man. You excited? I told you it was gonna all work out, man. At least you don't have to move too far. Where are you at right now? Okay, awesome, man. Well, hey, enjoy the night, man. You deserve all this. You've earned it, and it's just starting. You get here tomorrow, and I'll go to work. All right, man? All right, dude. Congratulations. All right, I just want to talk to you right now. Hold on. Here's Jed.
Solomon, Jed York, how are you, man?
I'm good. Call me Jed, please. We're fired up to have you. I saw Harris Barton the other day, and he kept telling me, he's like, you got to take my guy, you got to take my guy. So, well, I said, I think we're going to be able to get him. So we're very excited to have you, man.
Solomon, I'm living the dream, brother. Congratulations, man. I'm pumped up to get you, bro. You're going to bring a lot of energy, man. So we're excited to have you. Enjoy this weekend. You deserved it, and can't wait to see you work, brother. All right, man. Have fun, bro.
Yeah, Billy.
All right, let's hear it for Solomon.
Oh, man, I'm fired up just watching that again. It's like draft night all over again.
That's a great video. What I noticed is the look on all your faces before the pick and that nervous energy everybody had before it started, and then after the pick, like relief. We got him.
Yeah, we were thrilled to have him, and we had the number 2 pick going in, and a lot of people were almost apologizing to me when I took this job. Sorry, you got the number 2 pick, and I think so much had been made of Myles Garrett that people really felt like there was one player that really had separated himself from the field. We liked Myles Garrett a lot, but we didn't feel that. We felt like we could stay put and grab a great player. we felt like there was value in moving back. And we only had to move back one spot. We gained a whole bunch. And we still got a guy that we had ranked incredibly high in Solomon Thomas. And we really believe that he's going to be a game-changing player right from the start. But the great thing is that productivity. He's a guy who wreaks havoc and just wrecks things. But he's got a lot of room for growth. He's young. He's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. And so you got a guy who's already, just a real problem for offenses to deal with, and he's only going to get better. So we're thrilled to have him.
Yeah, the great defensive linemen, if you stop the tape, they're always the first one off the ball, anticipating the count, right? Yeah. That seems like his game, watching tape.
His get-off is it's special. It really is. When you're talking about elite trait, that's something that he has that is elite. He's got elite feet as well. He's got some technique things to work on, and he'll do that. But we feel like the faithful's going to be watching. He's wearing 94, and you're gonna see 94 making a bunch of plays for us.
Oh yeah, Solly Thomas.
Dude, you still got
coming to San Francisco. These two, gotta rein these two in. They'll just talk football all night long. All right, well, let's welcome first, though, another key member in that war room that night. He was is the Chief Strategy Officer for our San Francisco 49ers, as well as the Executive Vice President of Football Operations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Parag Marate.
Hey. Tim. Hey, Kate.
All right, well, we're going to let Parag get settled in for a moment, and we'll throw another one at John, because I can tell he's warmed up now. So, John, I know you guys were talking a little bit of football, but big picture now. Tim mentioned when we first brought you out here, you've been in TV for the past while.
Right.
So you played in the NFL, obviously, for a long time, but once again, you're a rookie.
Yeah.
This time in the GM role. So been here for a few months now. I know you were thinking about being a GM, but now you actually are. So what have the past couple of months been like for you?
A lot of long days, but it's been worth it. It's been a lot of fun, and I think what brought me back, I had a blast doing the broadcasting, but I think the allure for players and why it's so hard to let go when your career's over. People talk about the guys, and the guys are great, and I'm still friends with them, and but I moved on to broadcasting, and I still had a team. And so I felt like that wasn't what I was missing. I think what I was missing most was a scoreboard. At the end of a broadcast, you give your partner, Kevin Burkhardt for me, and Tim worked with a lot. I worked with Dick Stockton. You give him a fist bump and say, great job, buddy. But you didn't have that thrill after a huge win, or you didn't have that agony after a tough loss, and you kind of thrive on that. And so the opportunity to get back in and experience that again in a different role, and the opportunity to kind of shape a team. Here's a team, and we get a chance to build it from ground zero and put this thing together to try to bring back an iconic franchise to where it belongs on top. So the 49ers, and then Kyle Shanahan, I put all those together, and I felt like it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. And fortunately, you got a tremendous wife and 4 special kids that saw that their dad was excited, and even though they're in high school and it was a tough time to move and all that, they encouraged me to go after it, and I sure am happy that I did.
And you can't mimic that passion anywhere. I mean, in terms of, unless you're in it, and being emotionally invested in something again, in a team, and like you said, building this thing from soup to nuts is big. I mean, that's what brought me out and brought me back. I want to be emotionally invested with a team again.
Yeah, no, that is what I miss most from my playing days. Broadcasting was tremendous, and it was you got to do something I loved, and you worked half the year, and then the rest of it was yours to do with what you wish. And but this has been awesome thus far, and I'm looking forward to doing it for a long time. And we got all this excitement. We haven't even played a game yet. So now we got to really get to work, and I appreciate everyone's enthusiasm. And we are very positive with the direction and feel really good about the direction we're going in. But we understand there's a lot of hard work to be done.
Yeah, and let's talk about some of that hard work with Parag. Since you're out here now with us, one of the things that I try so hard to understand about football, but I never do, is the salary cap, Parag. That thing is so confusing. So I'm going to start off with a hard one. Welcome to the stage, buddy. Let's get right into it. Kind of a high-level overview of the approach of managing the salary cap this offseason, if you could, and what we as fans can look for in that salary cap and how it's managed in the coming months and years.
Sure. It's actually pretty simple. First and foremost for us is we spend every single dollar of the salary cap, so there will not be a dollar unspent.
Yeah.
I think after that, it comes to being, you got to be really aggressive with what you want and where you're going to go and get it, and you got to maintain a lot of flexibility. So just to give you guys a little bit of context for that, we signed 25 players, UFAs, this season in free agency, which was most in the league. Our previous 4 years combined, we signed 23 guys total. Wow. So just an example of being aggressive for what you want to go get. But you got to stay flexible. And so for us, you know, we still over the next 2 years have the most cap room in the entire NFL. We have $22 million more than the number 2 team in the league, and $60 million more in the average. So we've established, you know, got the players in place for Kyle and John, but we're set up to be flexible enough to go get more players or sign our own players when we get into free agency in the future, because everyone knows free agency is a risky business, but you know what we did is we got players who had a lot of familiarity, either with Kyle or with Robert or with Richard, our special teams and our defensive coordinator, or we signed guys who to flexible contracts, just to make sure that we are set up for the future. So you know the simplest way to say it is we're going to be aggressive, but we're going to maintain flexibility.
And brought quality guys in. That's guys that I think are impact right away. And this year in free agency, you know, when you talk about the quality veterans that you added to the roster, some might think that you would have trouble going out and recruiting talented free agents when you're coming off a 2-14 season. I always laughed at that because this is a crown jewel. Who doesn't want to come play for the 49ers? But in regards to that, you were the one early on reaching out to the agents at the start of free agency. What were you hearing from these guys? And why do you think you were so successful in landing the guys you targeted at the end of the day?
You know what, Tim? I was honestly worried about that too when I first started making calls, because the last couple of years, folks, agents and players, they just were unsure of the plan. They just didn't know what direction we were going, and so it was a little bit harder. This year, obviously money talks, but money's not the only thing. These players have one career. They have one shot. When they pick a new team, they got one shot to get it right and to have a long career making a lot of money somewhere. So it's not just about who pays them the most. They got to make sure that they find a coach and a general manager that they believe in, that they feel like they have a plan and they want to get behind. And I got to tell you, to an agent, every person I talked to was just so fired up about John and Kyle. And for different reasons. For Kyle, it was everyone thought, and we know now he's a football wizard. And he's so young, and yet he has so much experience in the NFL. And he relates to the guys. The players just feel like he's a player's coach. And I was actually frankly surprised that everybody already knew that. And it was encouraging. And then with John, you know, he's walked in their shoes at the highest of levels. And so they know that. They know that he knows what they need to be successful. But then the game changer for us, and where it really pushed us over the edge, was when John got on the phone with the player during free agency. For me, then it was game over, because when they talked to John, as you guys could tell right now, sincerity just oozes out of him. And so he is just such a sincere guy. And when the players talk to them, you know what? If it was something they did, if they weren't very good at something, he was going to crush them. If they were really good at something, he was going to praise them. But you know what you got when you talk to John, and that got all of the players fired up. And so, you know, I was surprised, and I'll tell you, just in this off-season workout program that we've had, this is something that I hadn't seen before, and I've been here a long time. But we had of our 60 veterans, 59 of them that have been in the off-season program so far have done over 90% of the workouts. So they've all been here. I'm not sure another team in the league can say that with their voluntary off-season program. So that just shows how much they believe in John and Kyle.
I love that. And this sets up perfectly for, sets up perfectly for our first fan question for John. It comes from Jim from Daly City, that is. And he says, John, this offseason, 49ers really seem to put an emphasis on honoring and welcoming past 49ers greats. Why do you believe this is so important?
Because they built this iconic organization that we all have the opportunity now to work at and to be a part of. I walk by, I park in the executive lot, but oftentimes I like to go to the front because I like walking by 5 Lombardi trophies every day. That inspires me, that motivates me, and those guys are responsible for that. So it's something that I talked about with Jed and Parag and the first time we met, how important I felt like it was, and to hear their passion for that. And one of the first things that I did, I got on the phone with the Mount Rushmore, the Joe Montanas, the Ronnie Lotts, the Jerry Rices. We put Keena Turner in there. Those guys, and just talked to him, Steve Young, and said, this is what we're trying to do, and we understand that you guys are great role models for us. You're here, you're part of our history. We understand we have to do it on our own, and we got to create that on our own, but we would sure like your example to be around this program and to be around our players. And those guys, we've had to earn their trust, and we continue to have to do that, but they're warming up to it. And that's special for me because those guys deserve to be a part of it, and we want them to be very much so.
Yeah, we do. That's really great to hear. Yeah.
All right, Parag, we're going to get one more for you. And going on your 17th year, you've seen some really great times, obviously. You've seen some struggles. What have you seen so far about this regime that makes you feel good about the direction the team's going in? And just watching, out in the OTAs and in the building, John and Kyle working together.
John said it a few minutes ago. I mean, we haven't played a game yet, and yet we just are all so positive about the direction we're going. You said it, I've been around a long time, and I've seen a lot. But I've never been in a building where there's so much just electricity and just positive, collaborative energy. I've just never been. It's just great coming to work every day because you just know that you're gonna enjoy who you work with. We enjoy each other's company inside the office, outside the office. We have a good time together, and we challenge each other. I better bring my A game every day I come to the office. Because I'm going to get challenged on something I believe in, and hopefully a lot of times I'm wrong because that means someone else had a better idea and we got better. But there's just a great vibe. I just can't wait for the fall.
I think that's a pretty good way to end the first half of tonight's event. I think that's a pretty good way to end the first half of tonight's event. So please put your hands together one more time for Parag Marate and John Lynch. And before we move on to the second half of our program, I want us all to travel back in time because the first 49 hours that John and Kyle Shanahan spent here in Santa Clara were pretty darn special. And our 49ers studio group was with them the entire time. Pete King was with you two in the war room, and then the 49ers studios cameras were following you all around. So as we head back to the locker room for halftime, check out a sneak peek at the first 49.
Whoever said that patience was a virtue may have been onto something. Jed York played the waiting game and got his guy.
The announcement came via the team's official Twitter account.
All right, what about the 49ers? They officially announced that Kyle Shanahan is the team's next head coach.
Yeah, this deal has just become official with the 49ers announcing that Kyle Shanahan is now officially their head coach.
First of all, you look at this Atlanta Falcons offense, they've been rolling. He's right in line. He should be one of the hot names out there for a head coach's job.
Today is the first full day for Kyle Shanahan as the new head coach of the 49ers.
At age 37, this is Shanahan's first crack at being a head coach in the NFL. He comes to San Francisco after 2 seasons as the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons.
Kyle's been around football his entire life. He's watched his dad run an organization, be the CEO of the Broncos and then the Redskins.
Our NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport tells us both Shanahan and new GM John Lynch signed 6-year deals.
Oh, there you go.
You guys want to lace them up. Better start lifting again.
That's great, man. That is awesome. That is really
Probably be embarrassing for me to try this on. That's cool. I'm definitely going to wear this. When I'm alone, I don't see it.
We'll show these guys a quick aerial view and then
Thank you, guys. We're going to make this organization proud by the way we go to work.
We know it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of work. And everything we put into this, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard we got to do it, we're going to do it the right way. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. It's my pleasure to introduce two great gentlemen that are going to help bring us back to where we belong.
I must take a moment to show my appreciation to Jed, Danielle, the entire York family, for really showing the confidence in Kyle and I.
Talking about the 49ers, though, it's always been a special part of my heart. And I have a very high expectation of what I've always thought this franchise is, and that was the best franchise in sports.
I understood what a great organization this was. I had the opportunity to play for Bill Walsh at Stanford.
It's not easy to win in this league. It's not easy at all, but when you have everyone go in the same direction, that's what gives you a chance.
They won the press conference, I'll tell you that. I mean, this was all good feelings in San Francisco, and even the local media has to at least come and say that these guys are impressive.
Joining us now in studio on 49ers Live, a special guest that needs no introduction. He'll get one anyways. 49ers General Manager John Lynch.
Yeah. Talk about betting on people and your decision to do this.
Well, I think that's when Kyle and I first hit it off. We're going to win together. We're going to lose together.
The key in San Francisco, the whole thing, was that there was unison. They know each other. They respect each other. You know, that's it.
I told you it was good, right? Told you it was good. First 49, a little snippet of it. All right, are we ready for the second half of our State of the Franchise events?
Yeah, baby.
We know it all gets done in the second half, right, Tim? The first two quarters matter, but it's
all about the halftime adjustment.
what you do after the half, after the adjustment.
And players know if they're no good. Ask Dennis Brown. I'll tell you.
DB in the audience, DB in the house. There we go. All right, well, what do you say we bring those two that we just saw a little sneak peek of out on the stage? Let's bring John Lynch back out here. And for the first time, the head coach of your San Francisco 49ers, make some noise for Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
We're going to have you guys
Dude, you got the lead.
Let him hear it, Facebook. Let him hear it. Let him hear it.
I'm trying. Good.
We're pretty good, right? Yeah, was that a Let's Go Niners? Let's go Niners. Yeah, there we go. Maybe two more? Last one, last one. There we go. I felt like maybe Kyle hadn't been really welcomed to San Francisco, so now he knows.
We need you with Sourdough Sam to hype it up before the game.
I know, I saw him backstage. I was getting. Anyway, let's get back to it. Third quarter, here we go. Welcome back to the stage, John Lynch.
Thank you.
Kyle Shanahan.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the stage. I'll let you get into things.
Thought you'd be bigger, man.
Trying. I don't have as much time to lift as you do.
Yeah, okay. You got the Levi's on, looking good. Got the untucked.
They're a little snug. I couldn't tuck it in.
Yeah.
I like
Good to have you, man. And it's for everybody out here. The players have been grinding all off season in the weight room and training, and they've been on the field with the OTAs and grinding mentally, and it's impressive to watch out there. And one thing I'd like to say, and I know it's not real football yet. I know it doesn't get here till September, but one observation I've had is the energy's been great, the enthusiasm's been great, and to me it's pretty important that there's not a lot of balls hitting the ground in the passing game. I haven't been able to say that the last couple of years out of practice.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, so guys are open and quarterbacks are delivering the mail, so it's been fun to watch.
No, it has. It's been exciting to get the guys out there. They're going hard. We got a good group of guys, some good people.
Well, glad you're here. So we've heard the story about the partnership between you and John and how it came together. And during the playoffs, everything you thought it would be, is there any surprises, good or bad? I mean, just talk about that a little bit.
No, it's been great. John and I have known each other for a little bit, but we've never lived in the same spot together or worked together, so you never know totally until you're with someone every day. And being around John day in and day out now, he's the exact same as the first time I spent 5 minutes with him, and that's what's been most impressive. You know what you're getting the first time you meet a guy, and he's that way every day. And the biggest surprise is I didn't know he was actually Captain America in real life. That's basically who he is.
So it's true?
It is true.
It is true.
Yes, it's true.
Has he been breaking out the spandex?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It'll
I
happen.
heard rumors, but I wasn't sure.
Captain America.
All right, Captain
That
America.
one's going to stick. That one's going to stick.
That's what I'm calling him the rest of the night. So, Captain America. What have you learned about Kyle that you maybe didn't already know about him?
You know what? It's been awesome. When a lot of people think, and Kyle's dad was out here today, and that was great because I had the opportunity to play for him for 4 years for the Broncos, and his dad was out watching practice today, and we got an opportunity to stand there and watch practice. I think a lot of people feel like Kyle and I really know each other from that. That's not the case. We met each other a couple times, but Kyle was off starting his coaching career, so he really wasn't around at that point. Where we really got to know each other, I did a lot of his games. Fox had the great idea of taking me off a Green Bay Packers game and sending me to Cleveland. Some guy named Johnny Manziel was starting his first
Oh,
game.
boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So I
boy.
said, you're telling me I've got to not go to a Green Bay Packers game and Aaron Rodgers, and you're sending me to Cleveland for
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel?
Yeah, TV's
That's
fun.
what we're telling you. And so I spent a couple weeks there, and Kyle and I would always have conversations on the phone. You do production meetings as a broadcaster, and every time we would talk, I felt like I learned something. We just had good conversations, and so I started getting to know him through that. As I was moving up in the broadcast business and Kyle moved down to Atlanta, they were pretty good, so I was getting a lot of Atlanta Falcons games, and each time we would talk, and again, I always came out away stimulated and felt like I learned something, and hopefully Kyle felt that same way. He kept answering the calls, and so that's really how we got to know each other. But for me, I knew the offensive mind that I thought was really special, that I thought was ahead of the curve and all that. But what I've been so impressed is watching him in front of the team, the way the guys respond to him, the way he stimulates them by teaching them, by educating them, by having fun. We're in team meeting the last couple days, and they compete during practice, and you have to have tiebreakers. And the last couple days, they've wheeled in a ping pong table, and we got an offensive guy and a defensive guy, and the guys are going crazy. They're having fun, and that's part of this. This league's hard. I played in it for 15 years. It's tough. It's tough on your emotions. It's tough physically. So you better have fun. You better have fun doing it. And I think Kyle's doing a great job of holding them accountable, but yet allowing them to have fun and creating a really fun atmosphere. And it's just been a pleasure to work with them thus far, and I look forward to doing it for a long time.
Well, and it's like he knew what was coming up next because, yeah, we can applaud everything tonight. Because Kyle, either for some stupid reason or some brave reason, was brave enough to be mic'd up at practice yesterday. So we have a premiere cut. Nobody has seen this. It hasn't been released on social yet or anything. So let's hope Kyle didn't drop too many F-bombs or that 49ers studio caught it in the edit. Let's take a look at Kyle Shanahan mic'd up.
What's up, man? What's up, man? Not much. I didn't know how your new technique would hit in the team meeting, but it hit pretty good. Wasn't sure. Doing all right? Doing great. Pumped you're here for the day, man. New shorts? You don't tuck your sweatshirt in? You have a mic on me today. Oh, do you need me today for something? Just giving our month and a half with them. Guys have gone like this. I better get loosed up because I'm mic'd up, so. Are you mic'd up? Yeah, talk about Goose and Maverick. You didn't like that? Oh, I liked it. I need to get my arm loose before, so I don't embarrass myself. All right, guys, on set hut. Set hut.
Strong right book. Z-Heat. Black. Wanda. Zapcat. Pop insert. Go on the quick. Pistol. Fullback jazz. Yeah, break it up. Break it up.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah. Could have been a lot worse.
I like when
nervous.
he said, when he was walking away from the camera that one time, I'm mic'd up. I'm mic'd up.
Oh,
That's just code for don't say what you were just going to say to me.
Yeah, you got to let people know when you're coming.
All of us TV folks know that.
It's a nice spin you had on it.
Thank you.
I mean, he played a little
They
ball,
picked
right?
the best one. So
That's what you call good editors. All right, so I already asked John this question, if he learned anything about you, and he had a pretty good answer. So what about John? You said he's the same guy that you met in the first 5 minutes, but I'm sure you've gotten to know him at a deeper level in the last couple of months. So what are some other things that you've learned about John Lynch?
You know, when you deal with John, especially get into it right away. And you know, the coolest thing with John was I just came from a long season. Get here, it's my first time as a head coach. John just came from a season broadcasting, and we both jump into a new role, and both of us are trying to figure it out, and we're way behind the 8 ball. And to be able to do that with someone that you trust each other, but you still got to develop it as you go through it. And it's easy when you're dealing with a guy who's very confident, doesn't have a huge ego, so he's not afraid to say, hey, you know, I'm not sure on this one. That was new for me. Or I say the same thing, and you can bounce things off of each other to where the only way you can come up with good ideas and stuff if you're not scared to make mistakes. And the only way to not make mistakes or be scared to make mistakes if you're a confident person. So when you're dealing with John, you can speak the truth, you can say what you want, and it doesn't always have to stay that way. Your minds can change. You're both trying to figure things out, trying to do things the right way, and everyone's trying to come up with the best way to help the franchise. And dealing with John, it's always a work in progress for both of us, but I know I'm dealing with a person who has the same intentions as me. And that's to figure out a way to bring championships to this organization.
You know what I love is guys that have achieved what you guys have achieved, but you still check your ego at the door when you go in. I think that's so important. And I talked about the humility that you both have earlier that's going to go a long way. And I know we got a fan question for you, but I got to ask you, with a room full of these great season ticket holders, what can they anticipate a Kyle Shanahan coached football team? What can they anticipate it's going to look like, and what's it going to be about?
You know, our team is, you know, for myself personally, it's a big deal to me that everyone is doing the best they possibly can. And that's achieving the most talent that God gave you. And it's getting the most out of people, holding people accountable, leaving no stone unturned. You come in and you practice the same day on Wednesday that you play on Sunday. There's no turning it up or turning it down. There's no, hey, this is a big week because we're playing Seattle. Next week's not as big because we're playing whoever the team is. Every week is the biggest game of our life. Every day is the biggest day of our life. That's just who we are. And, you know, I don't like to say look at it as those wins and losses, because that's not always something you can control. What you can't control is what you put into it every day. And our team is going to be a team that's totally focused on being the best you can be. And my goal when we get out there this year, that every Sunday, our team, our fans, our organization believes we're going to win that game. Whether that happens or not, we believe we're going to do it because we put the work in, we're prepared, and then we can live with the consequences.
Love that.
Yeah. Is it September yet?
Not yet.
No, it's not. Okay. Okay, I'll just get to the next question. I think this might be our hardest hitting fan question of the night. It is for Kyle. Kyle, you better get ready, because John from Ripon, California says, I'm going to get my section to be known as the Shanna fans or the Shanny fans. I need to know what you prefer. And I also want to thank Mr. York for hiring you and John Lynch. I have so much faith. I cannot wait to watch the team that you are building. Okay, but I told you, hardest hitting question. So Kyle, the Shanna fans?
Definitely Shanna fans.
Okay, the Shanna fans. That's what Tim and I said. Tim and I said that.
I'm not big on adding Y.
Yeah, Shanny fans.
Yeah.
I feel like Shanna fans.
You were in New York, you did the Shanny fans, I guess. But
thank goodness I'm not.
Yeah.
Amen to that. All right, I think we have one more for Kyle. And I believe this is, what, John from Roseville?
John from Roseville, and he basically says, in the introductory press conference, you stated you you enjoyed listening to Drake.
Uh-oh, better not have been lying.
So does my 14-year-old daughter, by the way. She's really big. What are your top 3 favorite Drake songs?
That sounds like someone's like trying to call me out.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
testing
really
you.
believe
That's a test question.
I mean, what album you want to talk about?
Oh,
yeah, I love One Dance, as everyone does. Started from the bottom. Free Smoke on the new one.
Yeah, that's the one, right? Free Smoke on the new one. That's
right.
I got my son. My son and daughter to cue me up before I ask these questions.
I think Kyle passed the test. What do you think? The coolness just went up a level? All right, well, before we bring out our next guest, we just want to thank the two beside us who put up with the hardest hitting questions of the night and who have all of us watching on our computers, on our phones, across the world, and all of us here in the Santa Clara Convention Center pretty darn fired up. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, round of applause. We're not done yet.
Are you out of here?
We're letting John leave. We're letting John leave.
I think I'm staying.
Maybe a Let's Go Niners. Yeah, John's leaving. John's leaving. John Lynch, everybody. And we're going to still have Kyle here. Because now we want to bring out a couple of Kyle's coordinators who we saw in the war room. And now we're going to see them out on stage. I know you're really excited about these two guys. You have some history with them, and I'm really excited because I saw how built they were backstage. These look like football coaches, let me tell you. So let's bring out the coordinators. Defensive coordinator, that is, Robert Saleh, and special teams coordinator, Richard Hightower.
Oh, man.
How you doing, buddy? Hey, Tim. How you doing, man? Good. I'm good. Good. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Put you in here.
Oh, all right.
Get in there. Get in there. They just look like football coaches. And I know Tim's really excited, so I'm just gonna lay back and let Tim talk.
I'm so excited I got in the wrong seat. We actually rehearsed this. I was supposed to be here, but I think we're all right.
Oh, okay.
You all right?
Switch if you like.
You all right?
I'm great. How are you?
You know what? I'm well coached. We better switch.
There you go.
I don't need a minus for the play. I fixed it. Robert, we'll start with you, and congratulations on getting the job, and everybody in here knows defense. We got to get better on defense. It's really that simple. Your style of defense, and I know your history, and a long time in Houston, and then up in Seattle with Pete, and then with Gus in Jacksonville. Why do you believe this style of defense that you plan to play is the right defense for this 49er group, and what does it do, and how does it take advantage of offenses?
You know, I think this style of defense is good for any player, and that it allows them to free their mind so they can play to their God-given ability. To attack an offense, giving a player all their athletic ability, all their strength, whatever it is, mentally freeing them mentally is what this defense is built on. Being able to play as fast as possible and as physical as possible within the scheme.
Love that. That's what you told me.
Well, I've said it for a long time. If you overthink, you stink.
Yep.
Really, that simple.
It is.
Yeah.
Tim is nothing if not honest and to the point, right? That's why I love working with this guy. All right, we've got a fan question for all three of you coaches, so feel free to choose who wants to go first. It comes from Anthony from Alameda, and he writes, recognizing the opportunity to energize and guide the team under new leadership, what is going to be the coaching staff's or your individual top areas of focus during training camp? I'll start with you, Richard.
I think my top area of focus is getting the guys to play as hard as they can, every single play, and giving us everything they have and trusting the process. And we'll let the results speak for themselves.
You're going to get some veterans to play special teams?
Anybody, equal opportunity employer.
All right.
Anybody.
All right. Let's rephrase that. Are you going to make some veterans play special teams?
Hey, they're chomping at the bit right now, so we're in a good situation. We got good kids.
Robert, top area that you'll be focused on training camp?
For us, it's going to be trying to rep our style of defense. We got a style that we're trying to approach, that we're trying to put on tape, And for us, that style is what we're going to be focusing on, and that's attacking the ball, all gas, no brake, and playing with extreme violence.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say that? You might get fined for that. You might have a
Family
letter.
setting. It's a
you
family
might have a
setting.
letter
We're good.
coming from the office.
It's a good letter.
right,
It's a good letter. It's a good letter.
And Kyle, what about you? First time as a head coach going into training.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things usually. I mean, the main thing, you're going into camp with 90 people, and you got to get it down to 53. So and you don't just, you want to have the most talented 53 out of the 90, but it's also got to be the best football players, and it's got to be the best combination of guys. So you got to set up an atmosphere for 90 guys to really compete against each other and really try to take each other's jobs, but also to not lose the aspect of the best team is going to be the team that plays together. So it's what's, I think, really special about our line of work. I mean, you're going against your brothers and your teammates that really are going to separate you from the rest of the league on how we come together as a team, yet that's also the guy you're trying to take a job from. And that's, to me, a little bit what training camp's about, that fine line and that balance of competition and really what you're trying to set up for your family and your own personal life, but also how to be a part of a team. And I truly believe that, the team that plays the best together is the team that wins. It's not always the most talented guys. It takes 11 guys to run the football, it takes 11 guys to throw the football, and it takes 11 guys to stop the defense, and it doesn't take one. So
I know you got a lot of the installation done through the OTAs. When you get into training camp, any anticipation that installation will slow down, or do you figure you got a lot of smart guys that have picked it up pretty good in OTAs?
No, we have a foundation of how we teach the offense and the defense, and we're allowed 10 OTA practices. We break up our installation into 7 days on offense, and I think you guys did 5 on defense, and so it takes us 7 days to get everything in. And then once you have everything in, the verbiage and how they do all that stuff, we do that through OTAs. And then we get to training camp, we start right back over. So what was day 1 of OTAs will be day 1 of training camp. What was day 2 of OTAs will be day 2. So right now it's the player's first time. And yes, we're evaluating everything, and they're competing hard. But also as a coach, you also know not to jump to too many conclusions. It's a lot of these guys who might look a little slower now and maybe not as good is because they're thinking too much. And what Robert talks about is, and I think the key to any good athlete is playing with a free, clear mind. And you can't really think once that play starts. You got to react, and you can think all you want before it. If you're thinking during the play, you're probably going to be up here coaching with us because it's not.
We're talking about it. A lot easier talking about it than doing it.
You got to. It's about reps, and you get that through OTAs. You get it in a mini camp. The guys get away for a month. How do they come back and respond? Do they come back in shape? Did they get something out of the OTAs? And if they did, they're going to have the best chance to win a job then.
Awesome. Let's hit another fan question. And Richard, this one's for you. And this is from Andres. He's a fan out of Redwood City. And he asked, because this is your second stint with the team, my question is non-football related, he said. Name your favorite part of the Bay Area, not including the weather, and your least favorite, not including the traffic.
I tell you what, Tim, I think my favorite part about living in the Bay Area, I'm a big-time family guy, and there are so many things to do here with your family. The mountains, you can go to the beach, the mall has so many indoor play areas for the kids. I mean, that's my favorite thing. That's my favorite thing. And the least favorite thing, can anybody say cost of living here? I mean, somebody's got to say.
You nailed that. You nailed that.
Oh, good honesty. Well, let's ask Robert another question. When teams are preparing for the 49ers defense, what do you hope they're worried about? I like that laugh. That's a good start.
Be careful.
It goes back to our style. I want them to see our style on tape. And if they're thinking about our violence on Wednesday, we feel like we're already ahead of the game.
Smart, fast, and physical, and not necessarily in that order, right?
That's right. That's right.
I think that's a pretty good way to end our coaching segment, don't you? Just on the violence? All right. So let's thank once again, and I'm going to let Kyle leave this time as well, our defensive coordinator, our special teams coordinator, and our head coach of your San Francisco 49ers.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
We'll let you guys know. Thank you, guys.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Coming for a hug. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
Yeah. Let them hear it. All right, and before we move to our final segment, because the videos have been so darn good so far, hello. How are you, young man? Let's take a look at some of the off-season training that's been underway so far, because the guys, as Tim has mentioned and talked about with the players and the coaches, they've been getting into it. So check out what the boys have been up to so far.
Time to get to work, man. Go to work. Time to get to work. Time to get to work. Let's start getting to your spot. Go, hey!
Told you.
Oh.
Told you they've been grinding. Told you they've been grinding. Did you get your workout in today?
I did.
These guys have been grinding. Was it a leg day? Was it an arm day? Yeah.
Hold on.
I need to continue my leg day. I needed to do a few more squats.
How many you want, DB?
Well, I thought about getting down and doing push-ups, and then I realized Tim was going to be doing push-ups, and I said, screw that. And then he might hurt himself. That's why he's doing TV now. But, all right, let's get ready for our fourth quarter. You all right over there, Ryan?
I'm good. I got my
I'm not going to have to do the fourth quarter
my
by
heart
myself.
rate's a little high. No, I'm all right.
Okay,
I'll be there.
how many fingers? How many fingers?
3.
Okay, good. We're good. All right. Well, everybody, it is time for our fourth quarter. It's time to see some of our 49ers players. Y'all ready to have some fun? All right. Well, let's bring out a couple of those players who've been grinding, as we saw in the video, and we're going to start with our free agents. We're kind of going to move in chronological order. Free agents, and then rookies, and then veterans. So how about we first bring out a guy who hails from the great state of Ohio. He was a quarterback at Michigan State University, and now he's going to be a quarterback for your San Francisco 49ers. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Brian Hoyer!
Good to see you.
Yeah. And a guy who's looking forward to catching many passes thrown potentially by Brian Hoyer this year out of West Palm Beach, Florida. He just came from catching passes from another Michigan State Spartan, right?
He's got the one that came before Cousins. This is Hoyer.
This is it.
And I got to tell you, he was trained by a Tennessee volunteer who volunteered a lot of pretty good information. Peyton Manning in Indianapolis, where it all started for Pierre Garçon.
Pierre Garçon, everybody! That was fun. I almost felt like a WWE announcer.
You sounded like one.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Sunday.
Santa Clara Convention. Okay, sorry, I'm done. Let's get to it. Brian, Pierre, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Faithful, welcome.
You guys like the West Coast?
Loving it, loving it.
Weather's nice.
Oh yes, oh yes. I can definitely get used to it year round.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that real estate pricing and the traffic, I mean, I can't complain.
And I know you spent time in Houston, so the weather like here is like
Beautiful. I mean, I wake up every morning, it's like 52, and then by the time I leave every day, it's high 70s, low 80s. I don't know what type of clothes to wear. I'm cold in the morning, and then when I get in my car,
just take a jacket.
There you go.
Yeah, it's all about the layering.
Take a jacket.
That's what we're going to learn, right, after you live in the Bay Area for a few years. All right.
Hey, I'm so glad you're here, man, because in free agency, you were right at the top of the list. I think when you look around wide receivers that were available in free agency, and this is your second time around in terms of entering free agency in your career. Your thought process as you go into your 10th season, a lot of people, they think receivers, but I know you still got it. There's a lot of gas left in that tank. So your thought process going into year 10, and just share some of the reasons for the season ticket holders here, why you wanted to become a member of this 49er football team.
Well, this is going into my 10th year, and I kind of did experience free agency, and I kind of knew what to expect. So, my first time going into free agency, I got a phone call at exactly 4 o'clock from one guy, and that's when you're legally allowed to call free agents once the new year starts in March or whatever when it happens. And to tell you the truth, that same guy called again this time in free agency, and it just felt natural. I knew the system. I knew I was comfortable with the coach, with, whatever was going to happen. I was just, I felt at home.
And you guys, you were with Kyle 2 years in Washington, right?
2 years, yes.
When Mike was the head coach there.
Yes, yes.
All right. And what other things brought you to the 49ers?
Well, the 49ers organization speaks for itself. Whenever you think about 49ers, you think about Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and to play for an historic organization. To play for an historic organization is just, trying to, be up there with those guys and just trying to play my best and go hard because I know the fans love it. And, I'm going to go out there and do my best every time.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. Well, Pierre just mentioned some guys who've won Super Bowls. Another guy who's won some Super Bowls is your GM, Brian. John Lynch. Won a Super Bowl. He's on his way to the Hall of Fame. When you're a player, having that as a GM, did it mean something knowing that you were going to have somebody with the playing experience who truly understands the game like John as your GM in making the choice to come to San Francisco?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think I remember back to when the day he was hired, and it kind of shook up the league a little bit. And, I had no idea I was going to come here at that point. But I remember thinking, how cool is that as a player to have a GM who's been in your shoes, who's, done the daily grind of getting up, going to practice, playing games, recovering, doing all those things. And here he is, and he's helping assemble a team. So when, like Pierre talked about, when free agency rolls around and teams are able to contact your agent and you're sitting there, obviously I already had a connection to Kyle, but then you look at the whole organization. You look from the top down. Okay, do I want to go to this place? And you see a GM like John Lynch who, obviously, I'd met him a few times because he called a few of my games. So I sat down in these production meetings with him. And for those of you who don't know, the crew that's calling the game, they come in and sit down with you and they want to get a little background information. And I was always impressed by the questions that John asked. You could tell that he had been watching tape, staying involved in the game. I mean, a lot of these guys, they come in and they kind of just throw questions out, and there's not really a lot to them. But John would be like, well, I watched your film, and a few weeks ago on this play, you threw it here, and you could just tell how his mind worked. He was still in it in the game, and for me as a player, I love having a guy who's played and been in my shoes, assembling that team with Kyle.
Let me rephrase that. I don't think he's been in your shoes. I think he's knocked you out of your shoes.
Yeah, not him specifically, but that position for sure. Yeah,
plays, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Pierre, you've had success in this league. You started in the Super Bowl. You've played with great players. What does it take to be a successful organization in the NFL?
It's real simple, to tell you the truth. To be a successful organization, we got to remind ourselves every day what the number one goal is, and that's to win a Super Bowl. Whatever we do every day is headed towards that Super Bowl championship, and that's why we're all here. That's why the fans are here. That's why the players are here. That's why we're doing it, just to keep it simple and play for the Super Bowl. And everything we do is headed towards winning that Super Bowl.
And you guys can both attest to this, and I think so many guys miss it. You've both been in the game long enough and have had enough success and are lifers that it's not playing the game, it's living the game. and you live it every day.
It's a lifestyle. It's you know, it's your job. It's your identity, and everything you do, you know, it goes back to football.
Well, that leads perfectly into our fan question from Jeremy from Alviso. And if it doesn't allow you to say what you're going to say, what are you going to say?
No, I was just going to say it is, you know, Pierre talked about it. It's your life. And, you know, just today we had a practice. After practice, you know, get showered up, get ready to go eat lunch. You know, I watched the practice film on my way out. As soon as I get home, I grab my iPad. We have iPads now with all our film on it. Watch it again. It's something that, you know, for those who, you know, like Pierre said, the ultimate goal is to get to that Super Bowl. You're always thinking about it. And I know it drives my wife crazy a lot of times because I'll get home. She's like, didn't you just leave work? And I'll be like, well, yeah, but I just got to look at this again. And that's, I think, you know, that's what's gotten me as an undrafted guy going into year 9. That's what's you know, kept me around and gotten me to this opportunity now to be the quarterback here.
Love that answer. Yeah. It's all about hard work. We all know that, right? Regardless of what you do, it's all about hard work. All right, this is from Jeremy from Alviso. And great transition. What makes you both, and I'll start with Brian, what makes you most excited about coming to work each day with the 49ers?
I think for me is just the energy that's in the building, really. And I noticed it from day one when Pierre and I came to sign our contracts. There's just a certain feeling you get when you get around Kyle Shanahan, his staff. You mentioned John Lynch. When you walk in that building, whether you're a new guy or a guy who's been here several years, you know, there's an energy in that building that we want to go and put in the work and be great. And you can't do that without taking the small steps first. And I think, you know, as the offseason went along, we had phase 1 where we can only do meetings and we can only work out with the strength coach. And even with that, you know, we would get our receivers together, we'd throw the football, because we were just anxious to play. And now we're at the point now where we get to practice. So every day we get to wake up and go to practice, it's a lot better than just doing drills. We get to go out there and actually play football. So at this point right now, I'm excited because we get to come in and play football, and that's what it's all about. And like I said, we got to take those building blocks and lay the foundation now for what the season is. But to me, when it's a day that we get to practice, that's what I'm most excited about.
I'll tell you what's exciting, watching you and Rashard Robinson battle out there. That's been pretty exciting.
It's been exciting, but you know, it's going to be like that all year, I guess, because you know, we go against the #1 defense all the time. But I definitely look forward to it. I love competing. I love you know, going hard and learning new things, because you can always get better, learn new things. And I've been getting better since I've been here, especially with Kyle and the new plays that they've installed. But I definitely love coming to work, especially for historical organization, the tradition here. It makes you want to, you know, keep that name up top and, you know, bring those guys to be proud of what we do every Sunday.
Awesome.
Not bad at all. Not bad, huh, Faithful? Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for these free agents. Let's make a little more noise before we welcome our rookies. Brian Hoyer and Pierre Garcon. Thank you, guys. Guys, that was great. He knows the Hoyer cheer. And before we bring our rookies out here, I think we got a little rookie video for you too. So let's run the rookie video before we bring the guys out.
You know, I love football for a lot of reasons.
I mean, it's in my blood. I've been around it all my life. I mean, I played it my whole life.
As soon as I started walking, me and my brother, we were playing football.
It's my domain. It's my passion. Lining up against another man, and his job is to beat you, and your job is to beat him. Being able to have a collective goal with all my brothers, and you know, be in the locker room with them, fight day in, day out, and just go on the field and, you know, compete for that one goal.
Celebrating a win in the locker room with your teammates. There's nothing else better than that, and you can't buy that feeling.
You know, I've worked hard throughout my entire life, and I've had the great opportunity to finally fulfill that dream. I'm looking forward to it.
To get to this point, to play in the NFL, that's always been a lifelong dream.
My name is Adrian Colbert, CJ Beathard, Ruben Foster, and George Kittle. Beat the Dunlop Bendel.
Trent Taylor,
Keller Witherspoon, Joseph Williams, Solomon Thomas. I play defensive end.
Quarterback, tight end, linebacker, cornerback,
running back, wide receiver,
linebacker, cornerback for the San Francisco 49ers.
San Francisco 49ers.
For the San Francisco 49ers. For the San Francisco 49ers. For the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. Are y'all ready to meet some of our rookies tonight? Yeah. All right, well, this young man was the 31st pick in round 1 of the NFL draft. He was a consensus All-American at the University of Alabama. Please make some noise for Ruben Foster. Our next rook is straight out of Sacramento, California. He played his college ball back in Boulder for those Colorado Buffaloes. He's going to be driving wideouts mad in the NFL. He's a member of your San Francisco secondary, Keller Witherspoon. All right, this young man is one of the winningest quarterbacks in Iowa history. And he had better hair than me just a couple of months ago, but he cut it because it's time for business. He is an NFL quarterback now. That is C.J. Beathard. And I know this young man, I've covered him in the Pac-12. He was running wild in the 801, and he's about to run wild right here in the 408. Make some noise for running back Joe Williams. How about your 49ers rookies, everybody? Yeah.
You guys like the Levi's?
Yeah, they're not.
Huh? And they're free, too.
So we can
That's
keep
the best thing about them, right?
And you no longer have to worry if you can accept them or not. That's the best part of the NFL. Right?
Ruben
Y'all
wouldn't know
what I'm
nothing
talking
about that.
We're getting on you quick.
Tim, right into it. Well, Tim, I know you know transitioning to the NFL isn't the easiest thing because you were a baller down at USC. So guys, the transition to the NFL, I'll start with you, CJ, since you're sitting beside me. How has it been so far being here for OTAs? Has anything surprised you?
Yeah, no, I think it's been great playing for such a great historic, organization. Mr. Lynch and Coach Shanahan are doing a great job at trying to turn this organization around, and are doing it with the right people, the right staff, are bringing the right players in. It's just been great to go out here and meet a bunch of new guys and play with these guys, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Akela, what's it been like for you?
It's been a pretty smooth experience. Great coaching staff around us, encouraging us to just go out and be ourselves and have fun and play football. And I've been pleasantly surprised. At the end of the day, we still go out there every day and play football, which is the exciting part for me. Different uniform this time around, but I just love being out there. Beautiful weather, beautiful setting, great coaching staff, and just opportunity. And I'm excited.
Ruben, any surprises for you yet, young man, other than Tim Ryan?
Yeah. The biggest surprise for me is how big NaVorro Bowman's arms are. Yeah. His arms are like my legs. It's crazy.
Welcome to the NFL.
Hey, if you're here long enough, your arms will get that big too.
Yeah.
You're not far behind.
What about you, Joe? What's the transition been like?
It's been great so far. Just like how CJ and Kello said, just being a part of this organization now as rookies and everything, and just finding our mold. Practice has been going smooth. But just the transition, has been, I think, the biggest surprise, just from college, to the pros, and just putting more time into, this being a profession now and not just, having to balance, school and football like we did before. It's been great.
I think one thing as you're getting ready for the draft, and you guys know this, that causes trepidation is when are you going to get picked? That's always what we're all thinking about. But where are you going to end up? What city are you going to be moving to for the next 4 to 12, 15 years? You guys all got to be happy with, and I know you are already a NorCal guy, but getting out here to the San Francisco Bay Area and being part of such a great organization with tradition and legacy. Just talk about that as it all went down, the trepidation before, and then you know now where you're going and where you're going to be. Go ahead, you start, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm from New York, so I'm an East Coast kid. So that whole process of figuring out where I was going to be at, you know, I was blessed to get the call, you know, when Coach Shanahan had called me. But having to transition to, you know, be 3 hours behind from my family and everything, it was a little difficult at first, but, you know, I've always loved to be out here. I trained out here for the Combine. But, you know, it's just been a great, you know, surreal experience, you know, just being out here. And, you know, I really just can't wait to start to contribute for the organization and get back to, you know, those championship wins that they had before.
How about you, Ruben?
Well, you know, I'm from Georgia, so 3 hours behind, and just the process of the draft, being the 31st pick was kind of scary. Thought I was going early, but I thought wrong. But it's no other place I'd rather be just to be a San Francisco 49ers anyway.
For me, it was very exciting just being from Sacramento, 2 hours up the freeway. But just excited once again just to play in a beautiful setting. Every day I come out to practice and I just think about how blessed I am. It's beautiful out here. You can't take the weather for granted. It's just an incredible place to be, incredible fan base, incredible history, and just to be a part of it and have an opportunity to contribute and expand upon what's already here is just what's really exciting for me.
Yeah, I know it's just such a blessing to be able to do what you love for a great organization and into such a great place like San Francisco. You know, it's a dream come true. As a kid, you dream of these moments, and to play for such a great organization and staff, it's a dream come true, and there's nothing like it.
Man, they're already saying all the right things.
It's already the real deal. Now we're going to hit them with some rapid fire questions. I think I already know the answer to this question. I think he may be sitting up here, but I'll ask all these guys the most laid-back rookie of all of them. I mean, I don't know. I'm just...
Should we take votes?
I don't know. I think I might be right, though.
I'll take that one.
I'll take that role. Am I right on that, Joe? All right.
Okay, I might know the answer to this one. Funniest rookie? Funniest rookie?
Funniest. Here we go with Ruben. Yeah.
That's Ruben.
I don't know. These two, sometimes the quiet ones have very sneaky senses of humor. You guys know that, right?
You got it. You got it.
Okay, what about this one? They might all try to be this guy. Best dressed.
Oh, no, that's for me.
Yeah, there we go.
Don't even. Y'all saw the suit in the little preview video, I think, so y'all already know what it is.
Well, Joe, if you didn't have to be in team attire tonight, you know, what would you maybe have worn to an event like this?
I probably would have rocked some little better fitting Levi's, but these is gonna be all right.
Yeah?
But nah, I'll save that for later.
Just the better fit.
I'd have came, you know, just dapper down.
You look like a skinny jeans.
You like skinnies?
Yeah.
Is he a skinny jeans guy?
You's a corner. I know you like
You wear
skinny.
You wear skinny jeans?
They ain't saran wrap, but they just a little better fitting.
He's gonna fit in well in the Bay Area. I'll tell you that much.
All right,
Like
who's got the best Twitter account?
Yeah, we can follow you later. Not in a.
That ain't me, man.
Don't look at me.
Post. One of you got something going.
I got 5 pictures on Instagram, so that ain't.
Ruben, you from Bama? I know you ain't got your Instagram.
He got the followers.
All I do is retweet. That's all I do is retweet.
Smart man. Is it CJ with the Snap? I know you young kids on the Snap, right? The Snapchat.
Oh no, I have no idea. I don't even have. I mean, I have Twitter, but I haven't got on it since 2012. But Snapchat, I don't know.
I'm right there with you, man.
Spoken like a smart NFL player.
All right, which one of the rookies, when they get in the end zone, is going to have the best celebration down?
Oh, that's me. That's me. when I catch a pick and I get it 6.
You taking it to the house?
Yes,
6-6?
might do a little dirty bird or something.
Preview? Preview? Preview.
Come on, man.
That's it.
Come on.
Preview. Woo. Let's hope that Ruben never scores a touchdown.
It was smooth, though, baby. It was smooth.
Can you
Tips and overthrows?
A little bit better. Come on, a little bit better.
You hear Joe's telling him good because Joe doesn't want to get up and do one. Joe's saying, that was good, man.
Come on.
Come on, Joe. I know
Come
you're
on.
getting in the end zone.
Come on, Joe.
I'm just going to do the salute, just something. Do something.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right.
I ain't gonna get out.
And CJ,
I ain't gonna get out while out. Will I throw a touchdown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't know. I'd probably give it a little scream like that. Like, yeah, let's go.
Point to Kyle, like, thanks, man.
I might do that too.
Point to the head coach. Gotcha.
Point to the Shanahan fans,
Yeah.
right? We named them already.
And Akello's too laid back to even have a dance. He's just going to drop it on the ground like he's been there before.
I like that.
All right, well, we've had a great time. Let's give our rookies one more round of applause. Right out to you. CJ.
Hey, get off that rehab field.
Akello.
You're going to get yourself in too good a shape
Ruben.
over there.
And Joe.
I've been watching
Yeah.
these booty locks over
49ers
there.
rookies.
I know.
Great job, guys. Thank you. That was great. Oh, man. At least one of those guys is going to be a handful. I don't know which one. But how about we welcome a couple of the longest tenured guys now on the team. You mentioned it earlier.
You got to save the best for last.
Because when you're down to the final 2 minutes of a ball game, that's going to get you to a Super Bowl that hopefully is played here at Levi's Stadium in just a few years. These are two young men that I want in those final 2 minutes. So let's get right to it. One on offense and one on defense. Let's start with one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. He's been a member of the Red and Gold for over a decade. It is number 74, everybody, Joe Staley.
Go, go! What's up, bro?
Woo! And what do you think we bring out the captain of our defense as well? We already saw Captain America. How about we bring out How about it? How about it? How about it?
Get him up!
Give me height.
These pants are tight.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, what size are those pants,
Slim, man. They're slim.
They're the slim fit?
Joe Williams.
I'm feeling good about myself today.
You're
I'm
looking
put the
good.
slim fits on. Bad. You're about to split.
Joe tried to take me out a few times already.
What? Where did that come from?
I'm just really in my feelings about that.
Yeah, I know. And you decided to right now to just.
Nobody's listening. It's
Man,
fine.
I'm gonna do this interview standing up, I think. Golly. These things are about to split.
I want to know what Joe's wrestling name would be, because you already got all this going on. You're
I would love.
proud.
Yeah.
What's your wrestling name?
Oh, shoot. I have no idea.
It's going to have to be something with an S so that we can use
Yes,
alliteration.
with
We'll
an
get
S.
back to it.
The big S. I don't know.
Good start. He's a really good football player, though. So.
S guy.
Might just call you Split Jeans.
Yes.
No.
Split.
Split.
And every time I come out, I just go. I love this. I get into it. I love it.
All right. Oh, that's good.
Oh, first and last state of the franchise for the 49ers. All right. Well, Tim, I know you were excited when we had Robert out here earlier.
Absolutely.
Now you've got one of his boys.
Well, and Navarro's been in great defenses before, and we all know the last couple of years. And for a variety of reasons have not been to the standard that everybody wants and or expects. And I know you've watched this defensive scheme in division, watching a lot of Seattle tape, knowing what they run. Robert Saleh in Jacksonville last year. What is it about this system when I think about it, it's like fast, aggressive, keep it simple, stupid, just go. Being relentless. What excites you the most? And again, you've been in a lot of defense. What excites you about this defense in particular?
Well, I think it allows, the guys that we have to use our athletic ability and go out there and make plays. We have this zone in the middle we call the kill zone. Cal likes to say F the kill zone because he's offensive minded, of course. But, we just want to get the ball in the kill zone and go do what we have to do.
And I think one beauty about this defense, not to confuse anybody with schematics, but there's not a lot of gray area versus some of the things that have been here the last couple of years, to where really in game, when a play breaks down, a player knows right away where the breakdown was, right?
Yeah, and that's part of being a pro. You have to own the scheme, absorb the offense, and go out there and make the play that's designed for you to make. It's a team game, so everyone out there definitely have to, focus in and study the game really hard, and like I said, absorb the offense so that you can go out there and make plays.
Robert, a good teacher. You like him, what you're seeing so far? I mean, obviously he's into it. He said violence like 6 times, but. He seems, and really good coaches are good teachers.
Yeah, I like him a lot, man. He's definitely thrown a lot at us, the first couple of weeks. We've been in the meeting rooms really studying hard. I think we're, past the offense and installing, no, that wasn't a shot at the offense. They just have a lot more to put in, but we as a defense, we want to get everything in so that we can go out there and make the mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and be able to be hitting on all cylinders when training camp comes.
Yeah. Well, and after comments like that, I see why Kyle's saying F that kill zone, right? So, Joe, let's talk about that offensive scheme, because you've had a number installed in the last couple of years, so there's another new scheme. How would you describe Kyle's offense, and what excites you about it?
What excites me about it is just him as a play caller. You see all the success he's had at every different stop he's been, and it's been consistent that his offense has been one of the top in the NFL year in and year out. And I think what makes him so unique as a play caller, because every single offense kind of runs the same package of plays, is one, his ability to call plays in game and put players in the best position to be successful, and really try to take advantage of what guys on defense are trying to take away. So, he's really great at finding the weakness, any little weak link on the defense as far as what they want to do schematically or who their weak link player is on defense. He wants to kind of exploit that and take advantage of it. And it's not just, hey, we're going to draw up a play, this should work. There's a million different reasons to his offense and his thinking of why this should work and what we have to do to set this up and what we have to do to be successful at this play. And also one of the things I'm really excited about is just the attention to detail that he's bringing so far. Every single player has a specific job, and for us to be successful on offense, he's really bringing that mentality to the forefront as far as you might be on the backside as a receiver, but you have to go dig out that safety for this play to be successful. And for this play to be successful, this play has to be successful for something else to be successful. It all has a big piece, so it's really exciting to be a part of it.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that was a long-winded answer.
Yeah, you lost me 5 minutes ago, Matt.
I, on the other hand, loved it, but Cal grad, USC, well, that's what happens.
Pay the fee, get a seat at USC. I was there to play football.
We tried to hold off until the fourth quarter.
Central Michigan. Yeah. I was just happy to be in college.
Right?
Well, hey, what I don't think a lot of people realize is you were a great 200-meter runner, too.
Yeah, back in the day.
Right?
Way back.
Right?
Way back.
What could you run the 40 in right now, even in the tight jeans? 4.9?
In the tight jeans?
Yeah.
They'd have to split first.
Would that be in the first step? I know that'd be in the first step.
First step, and then maybe they'd blow in the wind, kind of create some drag. I'm probably coming across at 5 flat. 4.7. I mean 4.7. I can't be modest. I'm super fast. I can't. Yeah, I can't be modest. I'm the fastest. I'm faster than Bo. I'm
Fun fact.
one of the fastest guys in the world. So.
Fun fact. Joe was the off-season program best athlete this year. You won.
You hyping me up. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. And it hurts you that I won that.
Joe exceeded in every single conditioning test that we had. I mean, the guy is unbelievable.
Hey, where's this going? Because you're never nice to me.
Should I
throwing me off my game right now?
Should I really tell him?
Yeah, you should.
No, I'm not.
What?
What you did to me?
Oh yeah. So this is a fun story. End of the story. I'll give it away. I punched him in the face today.
I punched him first.
Let me tell the story. So for winning the off-season, we're getting off topic here.
I love it. Keep going.
But for the off-season program winner, the strength staff made a big, huge, like cardboard cutout that was about this tall, and it's of me just doing, running, just one of those. And so Bo's in the locker room or in the training room, slugs it with all he has, and he said, "I'm sick of seeing his fat face. I hate Joe." And that was about it, right? The tone was all correct there?
Yeah, that was
and then I said, "Hey, you punched the cardboard cutout. I'm going to punch you in the face for real." And I went to, like, fake it. But he leaned into it.
No.
and I punched him in the face.
Joe says, "Relax, Bo. Relax. Please don't hit me. Please don't hit me."
Please. I got real scared.
It sounds like the same thing I did to you.
First fight I've ever been in. It was
that sounds
amazing.
like the same thing I did to you under the stadium last year.
Whoa.
What the?
Whoa.
Under the
stadium.
Remember when Jim?
Pause.
Hey, remember
That's
when
not
Jimmy?
one of our questions.
Remember when Jimmy Tomsula said, "Why don't you come out and box with us?" And I said, "I'd love to." And then you came out and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you're a good boxer.
Well, you kind of stepped into it.
I did. You did hit me.
Bo did.
Yep.
I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
It was an
Should I
accident.
ask you another
I'll
question?
take care of him in practice.
All right.
Yeah, let's do another question.
Yeah. So just ignore that side of the stage. This one's for both of you. As two of the longest tenured players on the team, the attitude around the facility this offseason, can you, we've heard, at least from the front office and from the Rooks and from Brian Hoyer and Pierre Garçon, that they can feel kind of an excitement and an attitude around the facility, but they're obviously, most of them are new here. So you guys have been around. So what's the attitude? Is there a level of excitement with Kyle and John now in the building?
For sure. I mean, this is my 6th head coach. But there definitely is a different feel than a new coach coming in. It just feels the heightened sense of. No, I'm Central Michigan right now. I'm just searching for some words. My Rolodex of vocabulary is not very good. So.
I'm right there with
heightened sense of attention to detail, and I was searching for a synonym of that. Urgency, good one. Heightened sense of urgency, and just getting the job done, and you can really sense that in the practice field. In the beginning of the off-season program, every single season, regardless if it's a new coach or not, players come in with excitedness. That's not a word. Yeah. And
I like that.
And they come in with a real vigor for.
Now he's just
I'm
messing
trying,
with us.
man. I'm trying to do
Now
it.
he's just messing with
I'm trying to bring it back for Central.
Just talking
They
about
just come in real
Lot of hits
excited
to the
every
head.
single offseason, you know, and everybody's really excited to see each other. Everybody's excited to get in the meeting rooms and work. But, you know, this year, just the attention to detail, I mean, seeing on the practice field, just the importance of every single play, every single rep. It's really exciting. It's really palpable in the locker room right now.
Let's talk about head trauma. No. Just
I have
kidding,
a
brother.
few
Just
points.
kidding.
Yeah, like Joe said, I just feel like everyone's really focused on getting better every single day, understanding when Kyle has these team meetings, you can be the guy where he says, got Bo there, got Joe there, or Joe didn't do his job or something like that, and you're just learning from those type of things, and I think, you know, the attitude is great, you know, from every single guy, whether you're a rookie or, you know, what are you?
Old.
10,
Are you talking about my age?
your year.
32 years old.
You're 32.
Year 11.
Year 11. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about just older guys or younger guys, everyone has to be responsible. Everyone has to understand that, you know, we're trying to get to a point this year. You know, we're definitely at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to throughout the NFL. And, you know, it's our job to get the 49ers back to, you know, what we're used to, and that's winning. You know, and we have. And it doesn't start in September. You know, it starts right now. You know, and you know, you may think this is just the off season and, you know, we're just going through the motion because we don't have pads on, but, you know, everything counts. You know, everything, you have to learn how to practice like a pro. And, you know, we're trying to do that every single day, just really understanding how to execute and be a great teammate with protecting each other, not getting hurt, but also getting the work done that we need to.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
All right, guys, a couple more questions for these two. We're going to go to a couple of fan questions. This one comes to us from Reno, Nevada. We're getting out of the state of California. Liz from Reno asks, how do you feel the moment you put on that 49ers uniform and you're getting ready to walk out of that tunnel onto the field at Levi Stadium on game day? Bo?
I feel free, honestly. I feel, you know, like everything else doesn't matter. You know, I'm playing for people that really loves us, really enjoy just watching us play. And whoever came into that house that day, you know, they have to pay for all the work that we put in now, prior to the week that we prepare for them, and the studying hours that we put in preparing for them. And that's really what it comes down to, just really, you know, executing everything and going out there on Sunday and representing the uniform.
Awesome. How about you, Joe?
Yes, that was unbelievable. I mean, exactly that. It really is. It's one of the most unbelievable joys of my life is being able to play football, especially for this franchise. And to put on that uniform and understand all the guys that come before me and come after me, guys that I'm playing with now. It's just a real honor to put on that uniform and walk out into that tunnel every game and go do our best and get those victories for the fans.
Has it changed for you in year 11 versus year 1?
No, it hasn't at all. I mean, I still get butterflies before every single game. You know, it's the same exact feeling that I've had since I was 8 years old. You know, it's a game that I fell in love with the minute I put on a helmet, and you know, it's going to be one of those moments. And it's going to be, I talk with my wife a lot, you know, when it's done, it's going to be really, really hard for me to walk away because this is a game that I absolutely, really, really love. And, yeah.
And we see that when we watch you play, soaking the fans for sure. All right. Final fan question of the night. Joe, this one's for you, and it's a doozy. I didn't write that, but it's a doozy.
It is a doozy, though. I would agree.
Dan from Reno, Nevada asks.
Yes, yes.
Would Joe Staley be interested in going fishing and having a couple of beers with me?
Doozy.
Dan, yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'll go to Reno.
Fishing or the beers?
Yes. I like fishing and beers. Just a couple.
But what about you? Fishing or beers or fishing and beers?
Fishing and beers.
Yeah.
What about ocean fishing?
Ooh.
I love the water.
All right. You're salty? You don't get sick?
Not at all.
You say water or water?
Water.
You said water. Water.
That's the East Coast slang.
Yes,
You don't know
I
about
heard
that.
it.
Water.
You slipped.
Water.
Water.
Don't try to.
Water.
Don't try to.
It's not. Oh. Water.
Water.
You said water.
Water. Joe's correcting me from Central Michigan.
Hey. I was a 2-star recruit. I actually had to get into college.
Oh!
Wow. We can't say nothing.
Anything?
We can't say nothing.
I think that's it. I think that's it.
We can't say nothing to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Staley and Navarro Bowman. How about these two? That was awesome. Yeah. We'll let you guys go off now. Thank you both for being here. That was awesome. That was awesome. So, is that all you got for a couple of the best bets in the NFL? Yeah. All right. Well, thank you to everyone who participated tonight. Thank you to all of you who came here tonight. Don't go anywhere yet. We want to thank everybody who watch on Facebook or on Periscope or at 49ers.com. We know a lot of you were tuned in. We were seeing the views backstage. And hey, thanks to Tim Ryan. Any final words from you, Tim? Great night.
Great job by you. It was great to meet the new leadership here and the new guys that are going to be part of this team. And I got 2 words, I think, from that whole thing. Number 1, restoration. It's time to restore the crown jewel, get it back to where it needs to be. And there are good players here, and it's a great nucleus to start with. And then I think the other word is synergy. There is no dysfunction in that building. Everybody from top to bottom is in step with each other and has the same thought process. That's important. So restoration and synergy, my themes for this year.
Yeah. I love that. Well, everybody who's here, don't go anywhere. I've got 2 words for the web feed. Thanks for watching tonight, and go Niners.
Boom, boom.